Microphone's on, I thought it was off. Do I make knives? No. I'm not a blacksmith or a metal worker. Probably could if I put my mind to it, but I don't make knives. This is an axe handle. A few rough patches on it, so I'm just no wizards today. No. I'm got a bee in my bonnet about making an axe handle, so I made an axe handle for this Kemp pattern. It should go on there like that. Obviously, it needs tapping down on the bottom, brings it up into the thing. So yeah, I'm back to watching magic. Pretty boring one tonight, man. I'm just smoothing this off, and then I'll be oiling it, give it a coat of oil, and then I'll hang the axe head maybe tomorrow. I've been a bit knackered today. I went out last night, so it should fit on there. And my next job is to saw straight down the centre of this, down to the bottom. Cheers, man. And then I'll put the axe head on, pump the life out the bottom of it, which the inertia brings it all the way up to here. And hopefully it'll be a nice fit. I don't know if it's going to look good. I need to trim it up around the top, trim it up around here so it looks a bit better. It's a bit of a chunky axe handle really for a small headed axe, but I quite like it. I think it'll look alright. Just needs a bit of a trim at the top so it fits in. Makes it look a bit better. My first attempt didn't go very well. I was using a piece of spalted wood, which I normally use for spoons, so it doesn't really matter how strong they are. And I thought I'd stick the end on just to see if it would roughly fit. And yeah, as you can see, that's what happened to it. It's rotten in the middle, which I was unaware of, but it would have made a really cool looking axe handle. No, I'll just put a wedge in it, man. Put a wedge in it, maybe a ring at the top, just hammer it in. I'm not going to do anything fancy with it. Don't really want to mess it up and try and make another one, so I'll just stick to what I know with this one. I think that's what I'll do. But yeah, should go on nicely. Didn't do a bad job with just using 2 different knives on that. Draw knife and a carving knife. That's what I use for that, spoon carving knife. So yeah, I definitely need to trim it up around the top. Looking very nice. Yeah, I quite like it actually. It's quite nice. It'd probably go better with a bigger axe head, but I don't know. I reckon it'll look alright. Once it's tapped down, that just needs a I reckon a little bit of a trim around the top to get it just so it's flush with the axe. Might be alright actually, but only one way to find out. If not, I'll put it on and I've got an old. How old is the axe head? Very old. It's a really old Kent pattern. So old, the maker's mark's actually rubbed off of it, so you can sort of see make out an O, and that's about it. ON, something like that. But it's needs a bit of a sharpen, but I find them easier to sharpen when they're on the actual on the handle. I find them a bit easier to do. Yeah, it's ripping. It needs a lot of sharpening up, that does. It needs a very cool. It's still going. Yeah, man. As long as you look after them, axe heads will last hundreds of years, man. They last a very long time. I've got a I think it's about 150-year-old draw knife in the shed. That thing's well old. I can see the maker's mark on that one, so I know what one it is and how old it is. But that would have been around in the old shipbuilding days, the old wooden ships, which I think is pretty cool. But it's got a slight bend on it, this handle, but I'm not really too fast. It's for me, so it don't really matter. I'm going to use this for carving. I might actually use it as a coppicing axe for chopping coppice. Nothing too heavy duty. I won't be chopping down any big trees with it, but I reckon it'll do the job I want it to do. I lent my mate my grinding stones, my whetstones, so hopefully he'll bring those back in the next couple of days. But I'll just find it a lot easier when you've got the handle there to sharpen it. Just makes it a bit easier to hold. You can hold on to the handle. I was going to make it about that big, like a hatchet, but I thought I'd go for the extra long one just to see how it goes. I think it worked out well. I quite like the pommel on there as well. If you want to call it a pommel, I don't actually know the technical name for an axe. I know you have a pommel on the bottom of a sword, but I don't know what that would be called. Just nice and basic. Looks really nice. I'm not going to carve anything into it because I don't want to mess up the integrity of the axe. You know, you'd be swinging it, snap and smack you in the mush. It's not a good look. And I've had a pickaxe snapping my hands when I was using it once years ago. Me and my mate were doing a fence. We were digging up the concrete from the old fence, and there was like a bath-sized tub of I don't know, it just looked like a bath-sized lump of concrete. And I had my mate gave me his old pickaxe, and I smacked it really hard, and it just snapped and flew past the side of my head. And I was like, nah, mate. Right. Should have checked it first, but I'd had a few beers before then. So what I might do with this before I put it on is I'll put it in a vice or clamp it to a bench, and then get wet and dry paper, put it on a board, and just run it back and forwards until I just go up a finer grain of sandpaper each time. It's called silly sharp, and I'll get it really, really, really sharp, dangerously sharp. But I did cut myself on it the other day, but I think it'd be good for carving, because the hatchet I use for carving has actually got quite a meaty head on it. So and it's a round blade. So concave, convex, but it's It goes round like that, and yeah, convex, and it does make, like, when I'm like hacking out a spoon, like carving a spoon, when I get into these bits, I need something a bit pointier and a bit sharper, so I can you know, just get the shape of the spoon better. And the round one, it doesn't bite into the corners as well, which is a bit annoying, but still a good hatchet though. It's a camping hatchet, really. It's for like chopping small bits of tree and splitting little logs and stuff like that. So it's not really a carving axe. And then ideally, at some point, we'll get a coach builder's axe, which I think would be pretty cool. Carpentry axe as well. But that's got a nice thing. Tools of the trade, very cool. Yeah, man, I love them. I love old axe heads. I've got another one in the shed, not as old, but it's a broadhead felling axe. Well, it's sort of cross between a felling and a splitter, really. But I need to make a handle for that, really. But I haven't got any more. This is my last decent seasoned bit of ash. I need to get up to the woods and chop down. Well, there's some trees already down. I just need to take a few big logs off. Just start getting into old tools. Oh, wicked, man. Well, he's like, all right, mate, how's it going? This is the axe handle that I was making the other day when you guys were live. Look at that. Just watched my night out. Oh, awesome, man, awesome. Yeah, it was all right, man. The pork was good. Could have done with a little less time, but I got distracted. Yeah, could have done with a little bit less time, man. It was a bit dry, but it was well tasty, man. Poor old pepper. But yeah, there's me axe handle. Nice and easy to make, these are. Nice and quick, there's no messing around with them. I don't need to carve like loads of patterns and stuff into it. It's just an axe handle. Nice. Yeah, man. Make a good cudgel. Or an atlatl. Next one I'll do, I've got another one of these. This is the axe head. It's an old Kent pattern axe. These are mainly used for like hedge laying and coppicing. I'm going to use it for carving because it's a really narrow bevel on it. So I think it'd be good for carving intricate stuff with the axe. And what I should have done is made it so it was on that way with the with that on that side. Actually, thinking about it, that's a really silly idea. I could imagine actually trying to use it as an atlatl with a razor sharp axe blade on the end. That's probably a pretty bad idea, actually. Hey ho. But yeah, that'd make a good atlatl. You could definitely lob a spear with it. You'd have to carve this out a bit, make it into more of a hook. I got hold of some coppice last night as well to make some more arrows. I'm going to have a go at making some more arrows. I forgot to put the clip in my video, but I was sitting there with a piece of fire hardening it on the fire and straightening it out, making it nice and straight and smooth. But it'll be all right. It'll be all right. This and then I've got to chop up my deer antler. Bloody thing. Got to chop this up to make some tools to knap flint with. That's a little bits of flint. I can think of making. You can make all sorts of things out of flint, man. You can make knives, hand axes. You know, they don't have to be pretty. Thing is, if you want to make something, if you want to get decent flakes off, you need a bit of antler because it's got a similar resonant vibrational frequency to flint. So when you hit it, it just. Well, the whole idea is to make a wedge and then strike blades off. Have I ever carved a shillelagh? No, not really. I've thought about it a few times. There's plenty of blackthorn and stuff kicking around that I could use, but I've never made one. I've only got small bits of it. I've got a couple of bits in the shed like that, but they're I don't think they're any good because you know, when you find a piece of flint, if you hit it and it rings, it's got no impurities in it. If you hit it and it just goes doof, doof, it's every time you try and nap a piece off of it, it's just going to crumble into little bits. So it's not really worth the worth messing around with. But what I need to do is get up to the South Downs in the middle of the woods. There's a big hill, and it's absolutely, well, all the hills are made out of chalk and flint. So I need a piece that hasn't been run over or machined, so it's got a nice, it's untouched, you know. I've got a little bit of that there. I might try and put it into my knife handle. Yeah, that's a good idea, man. That's a good idea. Antler handles are cool. What are you going to do? Make like the blanks, or are you going to do like the little slivers, and then put them on, and then hammer the back of the knife so it goes, it rivets around the handle and holds the handle in, like the old Swedish Scandi grind knives that they use, that the Sami make. The Sami people in Sweden, they make some pretty knives, man. Don't know. Yeah, you can heat treat flint. You can cook it on the fire, but the problem is I'm no expert in it, and you know what happens if you put flint with heat for too long? They go off like bloody landmines, don't they? Yeah, so it's they don't just pop like a river rocks do. They proper explode everywhere, and no one needs razor sharp bits of glass like flint shooting around all over the place. My old Kelly kettle, I've had one for about 20 years before the bottom of it, the sill went. I like to use it if I'm trying to get a fire going. I use it as like a rocket stove sort of thing. So I just put it over the top. And my bloody kids filled it up with flint, like little flint stones like that. And I put it on this fire to get like a chimney going. And waited about 10 minutes, and all you heard was all the flint exploding inside of it. I was like, bloody hell, better put the cork in that before it kicks out. About 2 centimetres. Oh, fair play, man, fair play. So I'm not a knife person. I don't make knives. I buy them, but I make an axe handle made out of wood. But luckily enough, I've got a mate who's an engineer, so if I did decide to make a knife, he's got all the grinding wheels and all the sanders and all that sort of thing, so I could go around there and have a go at it. I'm meant to be going around his house to make a camping stove out of a old jerry can at some point, which I think would be cool. He made one recently out of a ammo box. It's a little ammo box stove, little legs on it. The chimney's made out of old metal legs from an old table. It's well cool. I just found a chunk of steel. Thought I'd give it a go. Yeah, man. Yeah, too right. I was telling my mate about it, actually. I said old Sticks was grinding away at this bit of metal with a fire. When he's the engineer, and he's like, he said the same as me. Why didn't he just heat it up and let it cool down slowly and then grind it and then re-temper it? And I was like, probably the same reason I wouldn't do it. It's tempering, it's the hard bit. I would be saying about the stove, yeah, man, it's gonna be. If I get round to making the jerry can one, I think it's going to be cool because it's going to be quite long. You know what I mean? And you can open it up and with a big chimney sticking out of it. I think it'll look pretty decent. Just some little support legs coming out the side so it doesn't stack it in your tent in the middle of the night. But we shall see what happens. Yesterday completely knackered me out, man. He said, don't know what you're doing. Yeah, that's it. Same here, man. As I was saying to my mate Tim, I said I could heat it up and let it cool down again and file it into a knife shape, but I'm colourblind for a start. So it'd be like, well, it's got to be this certain type of orange colour for it to, to be tempered right. And I'll just be like, what's orange? It's either bloody everything's brown. You know what I mean? Have you tried flint knapping a thick piece of glass at the bottom of a bottle? No, I haven't. No, I've only ever done flint. I know people use glass to practice with before they go into flint, but because glass has got less impurities in it, so it's when you're napping a piece of flint, you get halfway through it and there's a little fossil in it. You know what I mean? You're like, it's completely ruined it. You've got to try and work around it and try and get around the fossil. That's all I appreciate. The longer it takes, exactly. That's it. It's everything's a learning curve. You know what I mean? If I mess that up, well, that was my first attempt, and as you can see, it didn't go very well, because it's got a big spotted line running straight through the middle of it. There, the dark patch. So I thought I'd tap the just put the axe head on just to see if it fits. And I went to wiggle it to get it off, and the thing bloody snapped. And I was like, "Oh, it's a good job that happened now." You know, I'll put it on like that just to see. I went to wiggle it, and it was a. How do you feel about propane heaters, winter camping? What is your go-to heat source? 4 seasons sleeping bag and a fire. I don't do like tent camping. I don't. I have like a what's his name, a tarp, and then a fire in front of it. I won't. I mean, before my heart messed up, I'd go camping literally wearing my barber jacket and make a big fire, and then sleep next to the fire all night. That would be my go-to. I wouldn't use a propane heater in a tent. It's me personally, because I wouldn't want to risk suffocating, you know, burning off all the oxygen or something going wrong. It could be quite gnarly. But I wouldn't use a propane heater in a tent. And if I'm going winter camping, it's either a hammock with an under blanket or whatever you call them, and or a tarp on the ground, laying on the ground. I've got a like a memory foam sleeping mat that I sleep on that rolls up. It's about that thick. No matter what I put it, I could put it on stones and I wouldn't even feel what's underneath me. And then I've got a 4 season sleeping bag, and then I put a bivvy bag over the top of that, and sweating pretty much, you know. Wear my long johns, put my long johns on, get into my sleeping bag, have a little bit of a nap, and yeah, can't really go wrong. That's what I do. But before my heart messed up, I'd turn up to the woods to meet my mates, and I'd turn up with a couple of cans of cider and a steak, and that would be me. I mean, I slept out on the forest floor in -2 once, wearing jeans, steel toe cap boots, and a barber jacket, and I made a big long log fire, and I just slept out like that. Got a bit chilly when the fire died down, and so I got up and just threw loads of logs on it. Went back to sleep again. I get a bit sweaty. You feel a bit like a kebab. Yeah, I know. Yeah, nowadays it's a no go. That was about 7 years ago. That was. My mate was like, "Oh, do you want to?" Because my mate owns an airsoft site, and it's like 93 acres. And he's like, "Oh, do you want to come up and give us a hand? Building like obstacles and things for people to hide behind." I was like, "Yeah, of course I can." And my other mate was going, and he picked me up, and I just had a carrier bag on me, and he's like, "Where's your tent?" I was like, "What tent?" He's like, "Where's your sleeping bag?" I was like, "I ain't bringing a sleeping bag, mate. We've got a couple of ciders that'll warm me up, and then all right, mate, how's it going? Got a couple of ciders that'll keep me warm, and I'll just make a big fire. Look up Siberian log fire. That's one that'll keep you warm. They work in like -40. They're really, really good for keeping you warm." Yeah, I don't do all the I don't do all the fancy stuff like that. I'm more of a your bushcrafts in your memory and your muscles. You know, it's not that's that, you know, you carry it around in your mind. A couple of ciders, yeah. I can't drink anymore. I did take a cider with me last night. I can have like 1 or 2, but I can't get drunk. Yeah, I did drink my couple of ciders that time when I was there, and my mate had a whole crate of Budweiser. Oh, but I helped him drink half a crate. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, I used to like a drink, but I can't anymore. Last time I had a beer was me and my mate went to Arundel, a place called Arundel, and we done a bit of spinning, bit of fishing, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to go to the pub?" So we went to this country pub, like smack bang in the middle of nowhere. The view was amazing. And he's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Oh, I'll have half a pint of cider," and he looked at me like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, just a little one, please." I'm making a stick hut. I'm just doing the camera thing to get done. Oh, nice, yeah, nice. We need to go out the woods and finish our shelter that we're making. It's made out of hazel coppice, and my mate managed to get hold of 500 block pavers, which we got dumped up in the woods. And I built like a block paver chimney in our shelter. So that'll keep you warm in the winter. The back of it's a huge oak tree that fell over. We were going to chop it out for logs, but it's actually started to grow again on the side. So maybe something will come of it. If not, we'll chop it out for logs. But we put a cross beam, bit of coppice about that thick, going across. 2 supports, another 2 supports going into it, and then we did a coppice roof. Put a bloody great big like tarp over it, and then we put another tarp across the other way, so the chimney sticking out the top. And then we've done a wattle wall on one side, and the other side's like where the roots are. So we don't really need to build too much there. We're just going to do like a brush. I was just saying, cowboy camping. I'm getting fancy now. Got me a hammock and a hot tent. It's hard to go back to the floor now. Yeah, hammocks in the summer, mate, are amazing. Hammocks in the summer are so good. I find them a bit chilly, even with an under blanket in the winter. I feel like a side of beef hanging in one of those walk-in freezers. It don't matter how much you got underneath you, you still feel well cold. But the hammocks are designed in hot countries. They're designed to be hot. So. But designed for hot weather. But I feel more comfortable on the floor in winter. As long as you've got enough between you and the floor, you're all right. It ain't too bad. Can't really argue too much with it. Where's my strop? But yeah, man, as long as you've got a decent fire going, it don't really matter too much. Especially in England, it doesn't really hit too cold. Sounds like an awesome deal. That's what I was telling you. Tarps. We're going to use your idea for the fireplace. Really thanks for the advice. No worries, man. Well, ask how much to the German Army sniper bag. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw the German Army sniper bag. I remember years ago, my mate had it was a 4-season sleeping bag with arms and legs, and he lent it to me once when I went up the woods. And he's like, "Next time you go up the woods, wear this." And I was like, "Oh, I know." And he wears it fishing, and you can literally just lay down and fall asleep in it. It's so hot. It was brilliant. Such a cool thing. It was like a fishing onesie basically. It made me look like the Michelin Man. I was like walking around, but that was extra warm, man. Huh? You need a wee? Where is it? Gonna go and get it, or am I gonna be able to find it? Well, off you go then. Go on.
Come on, I'm going.
Ooh. Cheery. Cheery. You're going past together, are you? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like a fishing onesie, you know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, take it off when you go in the toilet. I remember laying in my hammock once, just thinking, I can't get out of this. Go to the toilet. I can't be arsed, man. And then I was like thinking, should I just sort of try and shimmy round and lay on my side and go for a wee? And then I thought, what happens when I lose pressure? I'm just going to piss all over my legs. So I got up in the end. But it's just like, I thought to myself, can I get away with it? Should I do it? That could be a shitty situation. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man. Oh, don't. We went when my mate first bought his forest. We all went up there and we all had a few beers. It was years ago, and we didn't have the base camp then, so it was just like a load of old coppice, like bits of coppice and And we made a little clearing, and we put some block pavers down and made a fire pit. And he's like, I'm just going to the toilet. And I'm sitting there like that, and I'm drinking my beer, looking at the fire. And I look round, and he's literally about 2 meters away from me with his head poking out the bush. And he just looks at me like that, and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, having a shit. And I was like, what, right next to me? What's going on, man? Nothing worse than getting out your sleeping bag to go to the toilet in freezing cold. No, it's horrible, mate. It's horrible. Take an empty 4 pint milk bottle with you. Yeah, it's about 2 meters. I'd love to own a woodland. Getting shit first. Yeah, it's quality, mate. He's lucky. He owns 2 forests. He's got one in Somerset and one near us. Yeah, he's well lucky. One in Somerset's beautiful. But yeah, he's curling one out. Just literally, just like there. I was like, I just looked around and his head was there. I was like, all right, mate. what are you doing? We had a designated tree after that. Like yeah, right over the back. But there's no paths. Right out of the way, the big dead oak tree. Like it was normal, yeah, I know, man. Like, whoa. Curling one out while he's sitting next to me. All right. Do you want to shake hands? You know, like, do you want me to hold your hand while you're doing it? Oh dear, oh dear. Only the British do that. Exactly, man. Yeah, we love it. Funny. Oh, my moustache gets just moisture in the my hair keeps going up my nose. It's driving me nuts. Don't normally bother me, but today it is. I'm picking apples. What do you think I'm doing? Oh, it'd be nice to have some apples. I didn't pick many this year because my cider press was out of action. But next year, awesome seeing the fire going the other night. When was that? What, last night? I did go live for about 20 minutes, but the signal was. Told you best channel on this. Wait until I go camping with my mate Sam. He's well funny. He's hilarious, man. The conversations we have, like when I used to go live on TikTok, we used to have people in absolute hysterics watching us. It's like the funniest live I've ever seen. Brilliant. He literally no holds barred with him. He's funny. Full moon. There was full moon tonight, wasn't it? I thought it was like tonight, not last night. I did can hear the planes. You must be close. Yeah, yeah. You can hear the old planes going over, flying over the coast. I did do a live last night. Not a moony. Yeah. Another thing is that it depends if I've got my microphone on. It's alright, but if I've got my headphones in and I forget to put my microphone on, the speaker on that makes it sound like it's really windy outside all the time. But it was a very still night last night. It was a very bright night as well. It was alright. It was a nice night. It was decent. Lots of easy accessible wood in that coppice. You don't even need an axe or anything. I'm just getting used to headphones. Yeah, man. They do me head in. They do me ears in. But yeah, they ain't there. The old tinnitus. Yeah, I've got a lovely little in my ears when I lay down at night. So I listen to things when I'm sleeping. Otherwise, it sounds like I've got feedback in my head, which is really annoying. But that's years of being around really loud noises. Download what? The old music festival download. Is that what you're on about? I've been to download about 3 times when I was younger. That's a bit of a drive from here, but That's what you're on about. The old Download Festival. Down My Load Festival. It's the old heavy metal festival, isn't it? Well, amongst other things. Oh, my music festival days are long gone, man. Like a fax machine. Oh yeah, awful, man, awful. Like those bloody things that people have in their gardens to deter cats. And you walk past and you just want to drop kick it. Luckily enough, none of my neighbours have got one. If they did, it'd disappear. It'd either be a lean out the window and blast it, or run past and just drop kick it into a bush somewhere. They drive me nuts. They do that noise. It's too much for me. It's old bracket fungus. Normally you use horsehoof, but this is a artist bracket, Ganoderma applanatum, and I used it to start a fire with. I have to redo the video because I bloody deleted it to make room for my videos today. I realised, but if you bash the life out of it, there's a very it's like sock fluff basically. You can throw a spark onto it. Now I had one of these years ago and it was massive. And I wanted to see, because our ancestors, if they wanted to transport fire, they'd put a Ganoderma or a horsehoof fungus on a fire, and when it starts smouldering, they'd carry it with them. And then when they get to the new location, they just put a bit of tinder on it, and it creates like an instant fire. But I wanted to see how long a Ganoderma, about that big, would hold a spark for, and it was like 4.5 hours. I chucked it on the fire, and when it started to smoulder, I took it off the fire and then I put it on the patio, and then it was about 4.5 hours it was going for, and I was like, yeah, I can see why they used to use them. Have you ever used polypore? No, the old birch polypore. No, I've never used it as a strop. I've been tempted to, actually. I just haven't been anywhere where there's any birch polypore this year. I need to go to a place called Fair Mile Bottom, believe it or not. Weird name for a road, but yeah, I need to go to Fair Mile Bottom. That's where I know where all the polypores are. Lots of sulphur polypores, the old chicken in the woods up there as well. But I've never used one as a strop. I normally use leather. We do that in jail. There you go. You keep it lit. Yeah, keep it smouldering. You can light cigarettes. You get a battery with some tinfoil. The old prison lighter. The old prisoner's lighter. They work quite well. But yeah, man, only if you had Ganoderma, life would have been a lot better. But yeah, man, there's loads of other alternatives. You can use like a rotten log. Rotten logs work quite well. They smoulder away for hours and hours, and then like half a day, depending on the size of the log. But I know you could use horsehoof, but I thought I'd try artist's brackets, which I think are pretty cool. They're good because you can actually write on them and draw pictures on them and stuff like that. On the white bit, obviously not this one because it's all smashed the granny out of it with a hammer. But, you can write on the underside of it. So if you ever come across a graffitied Ganoderma, you know someone knows about them. Thing is, all it is a spore, so it grows back again, so it don't really like do any damage. The best tree is the one you can step in on P Park. What do you mean? Do you know anything about the sap it produces? What's up? From what? I'm getting confused now. Preston Park. Where's Preston Park? That's in Brighton, isn't it? Is that what you're on about? Preston Park? I haven't been to Brighton for a very long time. The place gives me the heebie-jeebies nowadays. I used to go there and get absolutely smashed and not really enjoying myself. Thought I was enjoying myself at the time. But there's an old English elm. I don't really know too much about elm trees. I don't really know too much about elm trees, man. Not my area of expertise. I learned about them at college, but that was like 23 years ago, so it's a bit of a long time ago. Christ, Brighton, bloody hell, that's going back a few years. It's a dead elm, I think. Oh, right, okay. Just the trunk. Oh, right, yeah. I don't know if there was sap in it. It'd probably be in the roots, though. I know in Sweden and places like that, they actually dig up dead ancient tree roots and smash them up because that's where all the terpenes and whatever you want to call it, the resinous sap collects in. And the actual roots, even if they're hundreds of years old, are actually better for making like oil out of them. Stuff. You can stand inside there. Yeah, so one, but the other side, I don't. I'm trying to think where Preston Park is now. I know it's in Brighton, but I always used to be quite drunk when I went to Brighton. So it was a yeah, one of those things. I just used to go there and get drunk and come back in the morning, spend the night there. Oh, acting like an idiot. Oh, Old London Road. Is that where the fire station is? I'm trying to think now. If I had my phone, I'd get it out and get the map out, but I can't be asked. You got it. Yeah. I'm just trying to remember the park. I'm normally quite good at remembering. It ain't where the skate ramp is. That's the level, isn't it? Or is that in Preston Park? I'm going on a memory from a long time ago. A good 8-9 years ago now. There's certain things I remember and certain things I forget. Oh, goodness. I remember they used to do that thing with the clocks. I can't remember what it's called now. They have like the parade, and I think they burn them, didn't they? Fire station. Oh yeah, I know. No, I know exactly where it is now. Yeah. If you're going north, it's on the right hand side, isn't it? If I remember rightly, it's yeah, I know. There's a travel lodge near it, isn't there? If I remember rightly. And then there used to be opposite it. There used to be a really old, knackered, run-down block of flats. Yeah, I know where it is now. I remember. I got lost going there one day. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you now. I remember the park. Oh yes, it's as you're coming out of Brighton, isn't it? It's sort of on the outskirts, I suppose, from the city centre anyway. There we go. Yeah, I recognise the name. I just couldn't place the park, but I've got it now. I know the one. It's got the big stone-built gateways. I suppose you could call them gateways. That makes sense. What time is it? Because I've got some stuff. It's only 8:30. It feels like it's about 12 o'clock at night. Knackered me out yesterday because I've got a bad heart. Awesome clock tower there. Yeah. Yeah, I'll remember it. Oh yes. Yeah, so yeah, that's a long time ago. I'm going back now. Well, it ain't that long ago, but I always used to be drunk. My mates used to live in Brighton. They used to go there and have like a barbecue, sit on the field back in the day. Right, and the church is old as the hills. I can't really remember the church. But... oh. Right, anyway, before I chill on that too much, I've got to go. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Nice talking to you. Cheers for reminding me about Brighton. And yeah, wicked. I'll probably be on tomorrow at some point. I'll probably be a bit more lively and won't have such a sore throat. But I'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming on. See you later.